Well, I'm joined now from Copenhagen by Agnieszka Kolek, an artist who was taking part in the freedom of speech debate at the cafe yesterday when it was attacked, and the Israeli ambassador to Denmark, Arthur Avraham. Thank you both very much for joining me. Agnieszka Kolek first, though. Describe what happened.
Thank you. I would like to first express my condolences to the Jewish people of Denmark and also the artist community from around the world. I think it's very unfortunate that even discussing the issue of freedom of speech, you can be attacked in Europe on our soil.
So tell me what happened.
I was inside. I was one of the panelists. I was one of the panelists. I was sitting next to Lars as Ina Shevchenko started to discuss freedom of speech, and she was saying that the threat of Islamist gunmen shooting at us is not as big as the fact that the society is not supporting us, because after attack on Charlie Hebdo, there were people saying it's a terrible event, and as she was saying this and going deeper into that, we heard the first shots outside. At first it sounded like a firecracker. And we thought that it might be just a provocation to stop us, because we are aware that it's not only about killing us, but it's also about shutting the debate and destroying democracy and open society, civic society in Europe.
Now,
there were more gunshots. We could hear the policemen in action, and then everyone, as French ambassador said, everyone was going for cover and making sure they protect each other and help each other in this difficult situation. I have to say thank you to the Danish police and Danish people. They've been really strong, supporting us and protecting us. Thank you for that.
Agnieszka, with Lars Vilks, the cartoonist, at the centre of this event, it was always going to be controversial. Did you have fears about such an attack? Did you ever think something like that would happen?
Yes, I stand on the side of people that believe in the rule of law in a democratic country. I don't stand on the side of Sharia law and people that they use blasphemy law in Europe, where anyone indiscriminately can go out and shoot at people that are citizens paying taxes and being protected by the state. And that's my stand on that. And I think we should all unite. And as Ina was saying, there's no ifs and buts.
Sorry to interrupt you. We don't know.
And spread the threat.
We don't know details about the gunman as yet, but very briefly, if you would, after the shooting...
I could hear him shouting Allahu Akbar.
After the shooting...
I could hear his voice. I could hear him among the... No, during the shooting, as the police was in action, I could hear clearly the shouts in the foyer, because he entered, he started shooting at the bar. The barman was protecting the lady behind the bar, covering her with his body. So that was very clear. And we know that Lars is in hiding for the last 7 years, and this meeting was organized that he can come and openly talk to people, meet people. And I knew that I would have probably a difficult conversation with him about art, but that's why I came here. So he's got the right to speak.
I'm joined now by the Israeli ambassador. A devastating day for the Jewish community in Denmark, but sadly, perhaps, Ambassador, no surprise.
Yes, indeed. First of all, let me just correct. My name is Baruch Binah, B-I-N-A-H. Ambassador of Avnon had finished his tour of duty a year and a half ago. But you're right, it is a devastation, and it happens all over Europe. This is a wake-up call for the whole of the European continent. It seems like a very bizarre pattern. First, you go for free speech, for democracy, then you go for the Jewish community. It seems like a pattern. We saw it in Paris. First the Charlie Hebdo, then the Jewish hypermarché, and now in Copenhagen. And this is something that we as democracies should not allow.
There were two very distinct messages for the Jewish community in Denmark today. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called on Jewish people to leave and move to Israel, while the Danish Prime Minister said today Jewish people belong in Denmark. Who is right there, in your opinion? Who should the Jewish community listen to?
There's absolutely no contradiction. Jewish people belong where they live, and the Jewish people in Copenhagen belong in this country. On the other hand, Israel is the Jewish state, and every Jewish person, every member of the Jewish community anywhere in the world is welcome to come to Israel, especially if there's trouble. And there is trouble right now, and we are welcoming everybody who wants to come and live with us. But while they live in the countries of origin, they must be protected, they must be defended, and they should not be subjected to rampant attacks.
Now, the Danish chief rabbi said today that actually he was disappointed by Prime Minister Netanyahu's intervention, saying terror is not a reason to leave Denmark.
Well, please don't drag me into this kind of debate. I stated very clearly that we are the Jewish state. We think that every Jew has the right to live wherever he or she chooses to live, but that as the Jewish state, we welcome any member of the Jewish people, the Jewish faith who wants to come and live in Israel. That is the way that things are. That is the way that things have been from the very beginning.
Now, the Danish Prime Minister did say today, we will do everything we can to protect Jewish communities. Do you feel
And I appreciate that very much.
Do you feel reassured by that?
I am reassured by the very good relations that we in the State of Israel have with our friends in the Kingdom of Denmark. They're doing everything that can be done, and I'm sure that they'll be doing more. There is a lot of coordination between our two governments, and I'm pretty sure that everything will be done. Having said that, as I said, we do welcome anyone who wants to come forward and live with us in our country, in Israel.
Ambassador and Agnieszka, I'm sorry, that's where we'll have to leave it, but thank you very much.